Hello everyone, this is Corey Lefevre with Garden Fever, and I'm back again with another video. This time I'm going to be doing it on aloe vera, which is a pretty well known plant. A lot of people know it because we use it for sunburns. But it's a very medicinal plant, and I wanted to do a video on it because it's one of my favorite indoor plants. And now that we're in winter in Utah, I've had to move indoors to my indoor garden and my indoor plants. So it's a good time for me to do videos on some of the house plants that you can grow, rather than just focusing on garden plants or flowers and shrubs and things like that we do outside. So that'll be kind of how I do my videos, is during the winter months I'll move it indoors and do plants that are indoor or whatnot, and then during the summer months in the grow period of Utah I'll do it on the outside. So anyway, it's for those of you that don't know, I live in northern Utah. It's zone 6 and 7, and it is winter and cold. So an aloe vera does not grow well in the cold. It's full of water and it freezes very easily. So you can grow this outside. Zones 10B and up, it's more natural zones. I know of people that have grown aloe vera in Utah, but it's a seasonal plant, it's annual. It will not survive the winters. So keep that in mind. I personally have had no luck at all with aloe vera outside. At some point, whether it's too hot, whether it gets too much direct sun, whether I'm not watering it enough, whether the soil isn't drained enough, whatever reason, I've had zero success outside. So, but however, indoors I've had very good success. So thought this would be a good time to kind of go over what I've learned about the aloe vera during that time. I actually have two different kinds. I don't know if you can see that. This one's the more popular one, and this was a gift, so I'm not exactly sure what kind it is, but it is in the aloe vera family. However, the aloe vera has a wide range of medicinal uses. There's still being a lot of research done on it. A lot of people need big pharma to tell them that this is true or that is true before it is true, but it has a long history through Native Americans and shamans and stuff. I mean, this plant has a lot of medicinal uses. So I'm pretty convinced, and one thing is for sure is that the more research that's done on this, the more applications on a medicinal level that we are finding for this, beyond just the sunburns. It's mostly known for skin irritations and stuff, kind of like a neosporin, where it soothes it, it allows it to heal faster and that kind of stuff. But there's a lot of other things too, which we'll get into here in a second. First of all, let me get into how you grow it, or some of the tips on growing it. It's a succulent, and a lot of people, for the rookie gardener, if you aren't sure what a succulent is, it's kind of an in-betweener between normal plants and cactuses. So it's not quite a cactus, but it's not quite a normal plant, if there is such thing as a normal plant. But so the leaves tend to be real thick. They contain a lot of water, kind of like cactuses will. They'll store a lot of water in them, and so they kind of have a thick, mushy feel, and most succulents do. But it's not quite a cactus either. So it's kind of right in the middle. So when you grow these, you want to, and you're watering it and what kind of light and stuff, you want to kind of consider the fact that it's right in between. So it grows really well in cactus type soils. However, I have grown it in every type of soil, and especially indoors, it has done great. The only thing that is a must that you have to know and you have to do is it has to be well draining. It's susceptible to mealybugs, scale, root rot, soft rot, fungal stem, and leaf rot, especially root rot. If it isn't well drained and the roots sit in water, it'll yellow up, turn mushy, and die, and it will quite easily. And maybe that's some of the problems I've had with growing it here outdoors. I know people have had success in Utah, so it can be done, but we have clay soil here, and I'm thinking it doesn't drain well, and then our direct sunlight is very dry and harsh in the dead of summer. It's 100 degrees, and it is, even though it is kind of leaning towards the cactus end, in some areas in the United States it can grow in quite a bit of heat. I've had no success. All of my success has been indoors, so I have yet to really succeed outside when it comes to growing this. But the people that have grown it here outside, it's an annual crop. It will not survive the winter. It's so thick with water that that water freezes and it kills the plant. So if you do succeed out here and you're growing it in this type of a climate, it's going to be an annual. You'll have it through the summer and that'll be it. So a lot of people grow it indoors, and I prefer to grow it indoors because it stays. It's year round. So I always have it. And I've even used it for sunburns and stuff. So it's a nice plant. It is edible, but it's not known for that. Not extremely good tasting. So it's more along the lines of medical purposes than edible reasons. So for those of you who live in climates that are 10B, in zones 10B or better, that's its more natural environment. Pretty warm. Doesn't really like direct sunlight, but it does like it bright. So when you're growing it indoors next to a kitchen windowsill or whatever is preferable. I have a couple of aloe veras that are in pretty dark areas and they do okay. Not as good as the ones that have a brighter light. So I do recommend a brighter light, but not necessarily direct sunlight all day. That being said, its roots are kind of shallow. It doesn't go real deep. So this isn't really a good example, but it still grows, obviously. So, but the shorter, wider pots are better for it. So it can spread its roots. It reproduces by offsets, and a lot of people will kind of tap out their main aloe vera and then cut off the offsets from the roots. I don't recommend doing that. Just remove if the soil is light and loomy and well drained like it should be, you can just kind of dig down a little bit, find the offset and cut it, and that way you're not disturbing the rest of the roots. That's what I suggest. You want to water it deeply and then let it dry completely. Do not let the roots sit in water. That is very important. That is the biggest mistake that people make with growing aloe vera, is if the water doesn't drain out and it doesn't dry out completely after watering, it's way susceptible to root rot and leaf rot and that kind of thing. So water it thoroughly, but let it drain and completely dry. This is the system. A good way to check that is to stick your finger in it. Stick it all the way down. And if you're filling water, you don't need to water it. If it's dry and you're not feeling any kind of moisture, then it's okay to give it another watering. With regards to the medicinal end of it, well, here, let me tell you about some of the applications. Obviously sunburns. A little known fact, and here's kind of a juicy one, is it's good for cold sores and canker sores. A lot of people don't know that, but it'll soothe the pain and it'll help them heal faster. So that's a little known fact when it comes to aloe vera, is it does well with that. Any kind of insect bites, whether it's mosquitoes or spider bites, cuts, ulcers, which a lot of people don't know that either. And I'm going to probably butcher the name, but this Singhag College of Pharmacy. Sorry if I butchered that. They've done a lot of research on the enzymes in it, and they found that it can soothe ulcers and help heal them. I wouldn't really call it a cure, but they're finding that is the case. And as more research comes out, we're finding more and more uses for it. A lot of people need big pharma to tell them that it's okay, like I stated before it becomes fact. So I'm just going to say that the one thing that we know for sure is that the more research we do on this plant, the more benefits that we're finding for it. It's got a long history. In fact, the clinical studies at the Texas Children's Hospital have found that it alleviates glucose ailments with prediabetes and metabolic syndrome. So, I mean, as we dive into this, we're starting to find a lot of uses for this plant. Not to mention, it's just aesthetically pleasing. If you're not into what you can do with it, it just looks good. It's a nice, easy plant to grow, you know. There's 75 nutrients found in it, 20 minerals that have been identified, 12 vitamins, 18 amino acids, and over 20 active enzymes. It stimulates skin regeneration, like I said, kind of like a Neosporin. So it's got a lot of uses. I really enjoy this plant. It's not hard to grow. Like I said, all you got to do is make sure that the soil's well drained and stick it in, treat it kind of like a cactus or succulents. For the more experienced gardeners that have grown succulents, it's a, you know, follow the succulent rules and it will do just fine. And then you can just clip it when you need it. You know, like I've had sunburns, you know, my nose, it's like, oh man, the sun's just fried my nose. I'll just clip it and then I just put it right on my nose and it soothes it. Canker sores, cuts, all of that fun stuff. So it's a great home addition to your plants. I encourage everybody to grow it. It's very easy to grow and it's very beautiful. I'll put up some pictures of some aloe vera that I've grown and get some fair use pictures off the internet, and I'll show you when I get to the editing part of this. But anyway, this is Corey Lefevre for another edition of Garden Fever on the aloe vera. If there's any questions, leave them in the comments. I always leave my email into the description, so feel free to email me. I've said before, I'm not a super popular YouTuber, so I can answer questions easier than some of the more popular ones. So feel free to ask me any questions, or if you know something that I missed, feel free to add them in the comments. Information is power. That's the point of this, is to spread information so that the knowledge that we find from plants isn't lost to the Walmarts and Costco's, if you will. We can grow what we need. So, I want real quick, some of the vitamins. It's got B12, folic acid, it's got anti-inflammatories in it, A, B, C, antioxidants, minerals, zinc, magnesium, copper, potassium, sodium, and that's just to name a few. It's a very good plant to grow. But anyway, I'm going to try and keep my video short. That's it for now until the next video. Like, subscribe, share. I look forward to other videos and hearing your comments. Feel free to leave them. And until then, we'll see ya.